Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today we're going to make a card using the sophisticated sled bundle that is in the online exclusive. So you won't find it in the Christmas catalog or the annual catalog. You'll need to go online and look at, on the left upper corner, press online exclusives and you will find this bundle. It's got these great images of the sled, a wreath, ice skates, what would you call those things? A spray or a swag. I guess that would be a spray. I'm not sure. And some fun sentiments here. Now we're going to be making a card that's called a shutter card, and we're going to be using the Take a Bow paper. Of course, you always want to say take a bow, but it is take a bow because it's bundled with that bow die that you can make actual Christmas and gift bows. So you could make gifts or gift bags or boxes and you could match your paper to them. So now this paper I really like because it has 4 patterns in it that have different patterns on the front and on the back, and there are 12 of each of them. So that means you can get a lot of the same cards made out of this paper. So that's one of the benefits of the 6x6. You've got 4 patterns, which really makes 8, and you get 12 of each of them, so you can really mass produce your Christmas cards. Traditional Christmas colors, red, green, and white. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how we're gonna make the shutter card. Now a shutter card is one of those cards that when you open it up, it pulls and it shows something underneath the shutter. Sometimes they're called Aperture cards, but I don't have one made just because I just got done with my product shares, my product shares, my Busy Bee bags, my product class, and my regular class schedule. I'm leaving tomorrow, and I wanted to get this video done. So I figured, well, we'll just make it. So I started out with Garden Green, one of the colors that's in the Take a Bow paper. And this is just a simple gatefold. It is 8.5 by 5.5. I scored it at 2 1/8, folded it over, and then I just pulled the other side here and then scored it. Now you also can just score at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8, but sometimes they don't meet perfectly, and I kind of wanted that one to do that, especially because of the mechanism inside. So just score it at 2 1/8 on that 8.5-inch side, fold it in, and then bring this one over and just score it, and then put it on your bone folder really well there. Okay, so the next step we're gonna do there is, let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna put 2 pieces of the Take a Bow paper on here. And this pattern I thought was real festive. And this is 2 1/8 on the green, so that would make our paper 1 7/8. This is 5.5, so our paper, the pretty paper, the DSP, is going to be 5 1/4. So 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, and we're going to put that on each side of the gatefold. Okay, so here we go. Just get a nice 1/8-inch border all around the sides, and then also get some glue on here. And I did play around with my glue before I started to make sure that it is coming out, because kind of look like a doofus here making a video. My glue's not working. So there we go. We have our 2 pieces of 1 7/8 by 5 1/4 on the front of our gatefold. Now this inside piece, I am going to take a piece of white. Now this is the mechanism that is going to be, now you know what I'm talking about. This is going to be the opening here, but you have to have a piece of paper down here to put the secret surprise message or image in the inside when this opens up. A lot of people, when I watched videos, just put a circle or a square down in there. I just figured, what the heck? Let's just put a piece of white right in the middle of that. Then I'm going to cover any you know, it's going to fit. Let's put it that way, no matter what I do. So I'm just going to put a little glue on the top, bottom, and a little bit on the sides. And then I'm just going to eyeball this to get it in about the same amount on each side there. And I cut this to 2 3/4. 2 3/4. So I have about, as you can see, about the same amount of space on each side. Now I put it down to a little less than 5 1/4 because we're going to be putting a piece that goes over this, that goes over the shutter part, okay? And this piece is 3 inches by 5 1/2. So it's going to be able to cover up that white, and it's the same height as your card, 5 1/2. Now I just put a circle die from my old layering circle dies. That was the one that fit pretty well. I was going to use my Stylish Shapes one, and it probably would have worked, but it was about an 1/8 inch bigger than this circle one. This is 2 3/8. So I just ran it through, and now I have this fun little thing to play with here, and we have what we would call, now I should put this back because you know what's going to happen. What happened when I have 2 sets of these retired circles, and well, actually I shouldn't put this one in here because it must have 2 of them in there because it wasn't in the other set. Okay, so what we're going to do is let that fall on the floor. So we've glued that, you know, we didn't put any glue to make it lumpy and bumpy here on the inside. But remember again, that was 2 3/4 by a little less than 5 1/2, okay? And then this is going to be going over this, okay? And I'm kind of eyeballing it so that it's, you know, so if this is 4 and this is 3, I can actually get a piece of my grid paper out and I could actually measure this, okay? So if this is 4 inches and this is 3 inches, 4 minus 3 equals 1, divided into 2 is 1/2. So if we just like say put our score line right here, and then I knew I wanted to go 1/2, then I would know the same. Shouldn't I be the same? Oh no, this is 4 1/4. So you're going to go a little more than 1/2 about, and then you'll know that you're right there. Now, a little trick I came up, I saw somebody do and I thought was really fun, is just put down one side of it, then you can play with them and put down the other side. So if you put your dimensionals here, I watched so many videos and I, you know, got so many tips from different people. So not my original idea, but that's okay. We all share our ideas, right? So if you put them down here, then you can play around with the inside and then put the ones on the bottom, okay? And like I said, I just found it easier just to go ahead and put the whole piece of white in there. Then I wasn't, and remember, you're gonna be over about a half, not a 1/2 inch plus what, a quarter, 3/4, 3/4? No, because that would be 3/4, so a little less than 3/4. Okay, so that's going to be, yes, okay. So as you see, what I did there is I went over 1/2, and then this would be 3/4, so that's 6/8. So I guess it'd be about 5/8, okay? So that's where that one's gonna go, and you just make it flush with that side, okay? And then you are going to be putting this on last, but we have to get this little aperture here. And to do that, we have to play around with two pieces of whatever color works with your design. Mine happens to be green. So they're gonna be 3.5 by 4. So 3.5 by 4. Okay, I have 2 of them together. You're going to take the shorter side and go ahead and score it at 1/2 inch. Make sure all my little directions that I did. Oh yeah, so short side's up here, 3.5, score at 1/2, and actually I should have did them separately here. 1/2 inch. Using my scoring tool, 1/2 inch, do this one again, 1/2 inch. Okay, so I've got those 2 1/2 inches. Now, let's then, what we're gonna do is we're going to go, we're gonna think of how do I say this? We want to go down halfway of this, and then halfway of this other side to get that, let me see, where's my pencil? Okay, so halfway, if we put it up here, halfway here is 2, right? So we're putting the 4-inch side up there, and then we're going to, oh, actually, I'll use my scoring tool here. I'm going to take my ruler and think of it this way, okay? This is 3.5. You're going at 3, but half of 3 is 1.5, right? So we're gonna go to 1.5. Is that gonna be right? Let me make sure. Yep. So we're gonna measure 1.5. And I found it easy to do it this way. I took my poker. Where's my poker? Anyhow, I don't know where that poker is. So I'm gonna score down from 2 down to 1.5. Now remember, I have the 4 inches at the top. There is a 1/2 inch scored at the bottom. Your 4 inches is at the top. At 2, I'm gonna come down to 1.5, okay? There we go. I'm gonna make sure I did that right. No, I'm gonna go down to 1 3/4 actually. 1 3/4, I'm sorry, I did that wrong, because it's 1 3/4 is half of that, of 1.5, right, Cindy? Think it out. Half of, and I'm doing it on 2 pieces because I'm gonna cut them both at the same time so they're the same size. So I've gone at 2, and then I went down to 1 3/4. I actually had to do half of 3.5, and half of 3.5 is 1 3/4. So I accidentally didn't add this on. So once again, 4 inches at the up at the top. You're going to go from 2, and you're going to score down to 1 3/4. Okay. Once you're there, you can actually use your trimmer if you'd like. And I just might do that. Bring my trimmer back. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut them both at the same time. We're going to want to get get one corner in the groove. Do you know what? I can't believe, well, no, I can believe because I just did my product share. Look at all of the paper. Do you see that? This is when your trimmer is being, look at all the fuzz coming out of there. Oh my. I couldn't even see the groove. Okay, so we're gonna cut one corner because we wanna cut from this corner to the middle where that 1 3/4 was scored down to at 2 down to 1 3/4. So we're gonna put that point there. And then of course you can't see this and this, but you can see inside your groove there. Okay, so there, and then I'm going to put the end of that score line. The end of the score line is in that groove. Okay, and then I'm going to go down to that. I'm going to go almost down to that. It's kind of hard to see. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it just almost to the end, and then I'm going to finish it with my scissors. It's probably actually better to just draw a pencil line. So I have the end of that score line there. I was trying to do it like, oh, look how fancy I am with my trimmer, but I don't want to overcut it. So I didn't cut it the whole way down because I couldn't see it, because when I did this other part, when I was playing around with these ones here, I just went ahead and used my scissors to cut it. Okay, so I'm going to cut. So I think actually just drawing it with a pencil is probably essentially the best way to do it. And then you just come down here. There you go. And then you have 2 matching. Now they match. They're going to go this way, and I like to do them this way instead of this way, because then put one under and one over. Okay, so now here's the fun part. Okay, so you're going to put adhesive on these two. Remember how I said this is going to go like this? So let's put some, let's use, do I have my tear and tape here? Let's see. I do. Okay, let's just get out our tear and tape because that fits on a 1/2 inch. And let's just put that right on this edge. Okay. There you go, tear and tape. Okay, and there we go. Another piece here. Okay, we can put that there. Okay, so we want to have these two pieces, remember, they're gonna go, they can go kind of like they're that way, okay? Now we're gonna slide them, we're gonna slide it so that, oh, I don't like this little piece sticking out here. Let me trim that a little bit. Okay. Okay, so it's gonna go this way. I'm gonna slide them under here, and they are going to actually, you're gonna put it on the inside of the score lines. Think of your two score lines that are here at the 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. You're putting this edge on the inside of that 4 1/4 inside section, okay? So when you go to do this, where I keep wondering where my poker is. Okay, I'll just pull this little protective piece, because once we get that first piece on, and the nice thing about having that big long piece of white there is you don't have to play around with exactly where you want this, okay? Like if you made a circle that was just a little bit bigger than this, if it didn't work right, then it's going to show the green in the back. Okay, so remember, this edge is going to go against the inside of that fold, okay? And you're just going to put it just like that. I want to hold it, okay? And then I'm going to fold down that edge, okay? And there's going to be the first shutter. Okay, now this part, you just, like I said, I like to, instead of putting it right over, you could do it this way, but I did see, it was a foreign one, and it didn't have talking in it, but mostly what you're looking for is making sure that the height are the same, okay? So, like I said, you can, I guess it really doesn't matter. It's either looking this way or it's looking this way. Okay, so if you think of it that way, just make sure that your greens are flush with each other on the top and bottom. And then we're looking to make sure that this goes over to this edge, okay? We're going over to this edge, and I'm gonna turn this so I can tell. See, you want these to be flush here, okay? So this one on the bottom, okay? And we can tell that they're both in, it's not closed right now, so it looks kind of funky to you, I'm sure. But just make sure, I'm just double checking here where my fold line is, okay? And making sure that my shutters, sorry about that, guys. There we go. I did the fold over technique, and you know what? I suggest scoring it because it's hard to see that score line. So I can tell that these are flush here, and this is on the inside of the score line, okay? And I'm gonna close this. So now you can see when the card is closed, when it opens up, this is going to open up and reveal a message here, okay? So now we're able to we're able to adhere this top section here. There we go. And now we have the shutter card. And so we're going to put a neat message in here that when it opens up, you see the message. I think I'm pretty good there. I think it worked out pretty well. Okay, so the message I want to stick in there is I already measured that it'll fit in here. And it's, I hope your days are filled with fun and laughter. And I thought that it would be pretty in real red because we have a lot of green going on here. So I'm going to, I want to test this and make it sure that it is stamping nicely because, you know, whenever you have, oh, it's stamping beautifully. Okay, so I'm going to ink that up again, get some red on there. This ink pad is not super juicy, which is what I am wanting. Okay, now let's see. Now there are advantages to doing it this way. Like I said, you've got a lot of space to work with, but also when you slip a bigger circle under there or a bigger square under there, it's easier to stamp on that, but just getting it in there, I thought it would be easier to do it this way. I did get a little bit of, I shook it a little bit, so that's a bummer, but I think they can figure it out. Okay, so now I get to show you how pretty these pieces are with this die cut, okay? Now, I am using an old, I think this was called Gently Falling or something. I'm using that because my Snowflake Sky 3D folder is already packed and ready to go to Pittsburgh. And it is deep, deep in the packing. Like everything's sitting at the door to go. I can't wait to get up to Pittsburgh and see my girls and do some stamping. So I said, I bet I have something that mimics snow, which I think this was called Gently Falling or something. So I'm just gonna put that here on the middle of this card here. Oh, wait, I'm going to not put one in the middle because I'm going to be putting a ribbon through there to close my gatefold. Okay, now let's get that right in the center there. Okay, I used my deckled rectangle. Ta-da! Isn't that cool? Okay, you actually don't even need a belly band because it kind of closes itself. Okay, I went with the theme of the colors that are in the DSP, and I made my sled in the garden green, and then I have the wood slats of my sled. Where is my little pokey poke? Wouldn't you know? Look at me all professional here with my take your pick tool. Yes, I did find one of the three I have. Haha. Okay, so I'm going to put my lid on there so I don't lose that. I'm going to get some little tiny, now let's just take a look at what our sled looks like. I think it goes like this, and then it has the red piece. Now, where is the red piece? Where's the red piece of the sled? Ah, luckily, oh, here it is. No, I never, okay. And then the other piece of the sled goes like this, okay? So I'm gonna pop these little holes out too. I bet that you could, if you had some really fine little embellishments, rhinestones would look really cute in there. So I'm gonna put a little bit of, that's gonna go across this brace, you know, kind of the construction of the sled there, right across there. And I kind of put the little open circles right where the arch starts to go straight there. And the same here with this one. I think when I did it before, I lined up, did I line it up this way? Yeah, there you go. I made a big blob of glue over. It's almost like, make sure I know what I'm doing here before I start. I'm going to just put some of the blobs. Now I got a real big blob here. I couldn't get the glue to come out, and then look what it did. I have my little glue bottles, but maybe this makes you feel better to see me making a mess. Okay, so making sure that I know how the sled looks, and make sure the round part is up. I'm just making sure that I know how exactly that the sled goes. Okay, and I'm going to put down the red wood on my sled. And I see that I need to poke out this one little piece of here. Okay, so now I have my fun sled, and I'm gonna be popping it up, so why not grab my dimensionals right now? And I'm gonna take the little pieces that are on the side of the dimensionals here, these little pieces here, and I'm going to put a few of these right in the middle of the sled. Okay, there we go. Oh, one of my lights went out. I hope it's not, oh, there it goes. I was thinking it looks like dark up here. Okay, well, I am using dark colors. Okay, get my sled. It looks like my sled's a little off kilter here. Oh well, oh well. Okay, a little piece there. Let's get another little dimensional here off to the side here. And there we go. Now I can then mount this onto my white background panel on the front of the card. There we go. Okay, now we could just do that straight. I think I'm just gonna go straight on this. It could look cute that way. I just realized that I did not do the sentiment on the outside. Oh well. Okay, so we have this pretty granny apple green that I just got a little bit of glue on the back of. And I'm gonna put that right here in the middle, dimensional back. Okay, I have a little bow that's gonna cover up where that glue is. But until we get to our bow, let's look at the fun little skates. Now, these little skates, I knew were gonna be a challenge, so I put them in a little bag. Not a challenge, I mean, they're really adorable. I just didn't want to lose them. Okay, we've got two skates, we've got the blades on our skate, and we have the laces. So let's get our glue here and put some glue on the blades. And it looks like I've got enough glue to put right here on the blade. And then I just use silver foil for that. You could also use smoky slate would be great. Okay, get those fumbly fingers there, Cindy. Okay, and it just fits right on the skate. There you go. Pull it down just a little while I have some, uh-oh, I'm getting the stickies here. Sticky fingers. Remember that Christmas classic, Home Alone? The Wet Bandits and what did they have? Did they have one called Sticky something? They had a different name. It's one of my favorite movies at Christmas time to watch. Okay. And I am putting the skate together. Okay, we've got our two skates. And we are ignoring another phone call. Okay, and then I'm going to put the laces on. The laces line up right with the line that's also on the skate there. But you want them to be, once again, you want them to kind of like that you can see a little bit. Oh my gosh, my fingers are so sticky. Ah, okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on here. If this is one of your pet peeves, getting sticky fingers, I can just see this. You could also stamp the skates and they can be, there we go, just a little bit up. Okay, we've got 2 skates. Now, Real Red Twine is in our new catalog, and I used all of mine for my share, but wouldn't you know, I found this little place because, you know, I never throw anything away. And I found it was Candy Cane Lane a while back. We had that in a Christmas catalog, and I found this twine. And so we are going to put some twine to hang our skates on our sled. So let's just put one on each sled and then a dimensional. Make the dimensional go where it fits into the sled. Okay, and then another one here, and we're putting this, I need more than one finger, more than 2 hands. Would my assistant please step up? Could you imagine if we had assistants? Oh my gosh, that would be so awesome. Okay, now we have this fun twine. I'm gonna put that aside. We're gonna hang our skates together. So let's just tie a knot here. I'm just gonna tie a knot in this, and you could use any kind of twine on this. You could use a thin ribbon. I cannot get my fingers unglued, so I'm going to see about how, I think I'm just gonna put these on and then play around with the twine. I wasn't kidding you when I said we were gonna make a card. Okay, so the skates are on the sled. We've made it that far. Now, let's just put that twine there, and then snip off the top of the twine. Now, if you were using twine, you could make a beautiful bow at the top of here, but since I already had made this bow, I decided to just cover up the twine. Ooh, I found my mini glue dots, because these are my bigger ones. Ooh, I couldn't find them the other day. They were right underneath my nose. Okay, now I have my pretty bow, and this is one of my favorites in the catalog too. I'm just gonna put that twine, it'll roll it under there, cover up the top there. We've got our skates. We did it. Oh gosh, guys, we did it. I am in the home stretch right now after cutting 150 kits and product classes and paper shares and everything. I didn't think I'd get to the end of the finish line. Whew, I'm getting there. So we've got this pretty little bow. And like I said, I don't think you actually even, and then you open up there, you could put some more decoration here if you want, and you've got that shutter in there. That shutter was so easy to make. So I would say though, would we think that to jazz this up a little more, let's see. Let's stick this ribbon through here. And let's see how this would look with a bow closing it. I think I might like that. But I don't think it's necessary, which is nice, because you've got that bow here, and this card, it tends to stay flat closed because of the the mechanism in there, but if you really want to jazz up your card, you can just close it and then have a bow on this side as well. Let's see what that's going to look like. Okay. Yeah, I think the bow looks fun on there. I think so. There you go. A nice, yeah, that adds with the silver in the blades and the bow here. And also you could have left, you could have made a big twine bow up there, but I think this one has more of a dramatic effect there. And then you can just close that shut and put a bow on that side. So that is what we call the shutter card. Look how easy that is. You could put an image in here. You could have put a cute little image from another stamp set, or this one didn't have any small enough. But look how cool that sentiment works. And I do like the fact that, now I do notice here I went over a little bit. This actually, I might actually move this a little bit. I think when I closed it, I moved it a little bit too much. But you could also cut this, even the white part under here, since this is 3, you could even brought this down even a little smaller than 2 3/4. You could have made it 2 1/2, because you just want it to be smaller than your opening. Okay, so there we go. All right, thanks for spending some time with me making this shutter card, sometimes, like I said, called an aperture card. I have my Busy Bee bag up for October. I'm going to be using the Friends for Life bundle, and that Busy Bee bag, for $40, you get 8 card kits with the tutorial and video, and $20 to $25 worth of product in your bag. So you'll have a lot of leftover product. I will design the cards. Many months it's 4 designs, 2 of each, but many months I get a little bit bored making just 4, and so I will actually make more, but you always get 8. So it just depends on how the stamp set and the designer series paper and everything goes. Like if I really want to use every pattern of the paper that I might put in there, but usually the product that's put in there, it could be designer series paper, embellishments, ribbon. I've had Stampin' Dimensionals, I've had note cards, I've had masking paper. So it's a surprise every time, but it's always a great product because it's Stampin' Up. So I hope you enjoyed this shutter card. Thank you so much for buzzing by, friends.